We have a big episode. We're going to start right off with some of the messages that we've gotten from some of our dear friends and fans, because we're getting some fan mail. And this is from a guy named Mike, and he's got a great oops for us. He says, I'm a medical device sales rep and work in the OR every day. There are multiple people on my team, and sometimes we have to cover things together depending on how busy the schedule is. About 3 years ago, I was in a long-distance relationship with an ex-girlfriend. We lived 9 hours apart, so to keep things exciting, we would send pictures and videos on a daily basis. This one day, she wanted to see something next level, so I went into the bathroom at one of the hospitals and proceeded to video myself in a full-length mirror, jerking off and saying some really kinky shit. Like I was talking to her.
Fuck yeah.
I finished the task at hand, fire off the video to her, and then go back to the OR to continue the day. Well, quite a bit of time passes and I get no reply, which I thought was pretty weird. While thinking about this, I noticed my colleague, a guy about 40 years old and an army vet, standing up against the wall in the OR, watching something on his phone and acting like he doesn't want anyone to see it. I also thought that was weird, but he was new to the team and had only been working with me for about a month. Still wondering why I hadn't gotten a response to this amazing video I had sent to her, I decided to send her a message to ask if she liked it. At that moment, I realized in my rush to get back to the OR, I had sent it to the Army ex-vet and not my ex-girlfriend. God. What the hell? I absolutely panicked and didn't know what to say or do. Is he going to want to fight me? Is he going to turn me in and try to get me fired? Is he into it? Fuck. So I muster up enough courage to go over to him, and I just start shaking my head and I immediately apologize. He has this absolutely baffled look on his face and then luckily starts laughing. I explained what happened and was so fucking embarrassed, but thank God he was cool about it. He said he was deployed multiple times and would see and hear way worse stuff than that with other guys he was deployed with. But it was a major fucking oops and could have ended up much worse for me. Let's discuss. Oh, Mike.
That's brutal, man.
Giulio, what do you think?
I mean, dude, I do this shit all the time. The wrong message. I have like extensively long bit about it, but never with like jerking myself off.
In a full length mirror.
Yeah, dude,
jerking yourself to completion in a video in a full length mirror. Come on, that to me is a video that requires almost the unanimous or the same time key turn. You know, that you see with like launching nuclear warheads. If you've got that in your hand, you are checking every aspect.
100%.
Of who you're sending it to, what time of day it is, the lighting. You got to be sure because that is a nuclear bomb, right?
100%, dude. That you couldn't have said it any better.
A video?
I mean, this guy was rushing to the bathroom to quickly get, like, I admire the ambition of trying to do it in that short window of time. But yeah, he got careless, man.
Yeah.
Sent it to the wrong person.
Having said that, of all the people to send it to, a fellow doctor, let alone a war vet, is, I think, a pretty safe person for it to end up in their hands.
Definitely.
You know, because doctors are cool about everything. Doctors seem to be more willing to accept. They've seen blood and guts and gore and buttholes up close. They've got all kinds of crazy stuff. So I think if anyone is to receive that message, it's perfectly fine for it to be in his hands.
Definitely. That's so true, man. Like doctors, they have seen fucking... Like if you have a terrible herpes infestation, you want to be dating a doctor. Well, dude, the other question too, it's like, I wonder what the war vet is referring to when he says he's seen much worse.
Right. What does that mean?
It's just too vague. Like, I'm sure he meant something specific, but I'm imagining things. I'm like, what could he have seen besides the terrible things of war?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So maybe he's referring to, you know, the horrors of war.
Right.
In which case, yeah, obviously that's worse. But if it's in line with what he has just seen, which is a full-length mirror video of a colleague of his jerking off, what would be worse in that vein?
Right. Chris made a good point. He was saying that it could be like those guys are all sending crazy videos to their wives.
Okay.
And maybe sending it to the wrong... I mean...
That's possible. Or he's had to, like, hold the camera for a guy doing it. You know, dude, hold my phone for, like, 3.5 minutes while I... jerk off for my wife back home. You know how it is, right?
Right, which is a breeze compared to, and like you said, it's a good person to send it to because you've seen some terrible shit.
Yeah.
If you're at war.
What's one of the worst missed text messages like that you've sent to somebody who wasn't the right recipient?
Dude, I mean, I've done it a bunch of times. I've done it on with screenshots where I've sent embarrassing
Oh, that's good.
I sent a screenshot of my gay boss of him with no clothes on that he posted on his Instagram. I sent it to him. And then he sent me a question mark, and I obviously I can't admit I was making fun of him, so I just had to be like, looking good, dude. That's a bad one. I do it all the time. So, I think the moral of the story is
what did he say back?
Nothing.
To you?
He was just like, I don't know. He might have said thanks, like THX. And it was definitely weird afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Moral of the story: we just got to take our time with sending these texts, guys.
Yeah. Check your recipients. I had a bad one. It was I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and then a mother of a kid I was tutoring wrote me a message, and then I responded my response to my friend to her. And my friend was telling me about a girl he had hooked up with, and I knew the girl. And I wrote back to him, but to her, yeah, she's got a pretty hot face, not the best body though. I don't know, I'd probably hit it. And I wrote this to a mom, and I'm pretty sure she was like a contributing writer to the Huffington Post.
Oh God, I mean, wrong mom to send that to.
Lived in Brooklyn, single mom, very proud feminist. It was one of the worst. It was so obvious that text would go to her. That was like some karmic twist. And I don't really speak that way. I don't do the locker room talk all that often. I don't know if I said I'd hit it or whatever, but it was in keeping with the tone of the conversation we were having. And I sent it, and she goes, yeah, I'm pretty sure that wasn't for me.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh my God, because, I was tutoring the kid and I needed the money. So there were stakes to it.
Did she still use you?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, we ended up banging a couple days later, me and the kid. Just kidding. We
Shout out Noah.
A lot of pedophile jokes on this show.
Yeah, the kid was Noah. Plot twist.
No, yeah, we ended up continuing to work together, but she never addressed it with me. But it was that was a tough moment.
Well, dude, I remember. That reminds me. One of my ex-girlfriends. She had a younger brother who had a nanny. And one day the nanny accidentally texted her stepmom being like, oh God, that fucking bitch is home.
Oh.
And she got fired, of course. She's like, well, I know that wasn't for me, but like, I can't, you're taking care of my kid and you hate me? Like,
right.
I'm so afraid of doing that someday. Like, and I've done it before, dude. I've sent shit talk to people. I talk about this in my act too. It's really hard to get out of because you usually use the person's entire name.
Yeah, you do.
So I remember in high school I did it. I sent a message to the guy I was talking to.
You know who
about.
sucks these days? T. Boone Pickens.
Yeah, good luck getting out of that.
Which T. Boone were you talking about?
Exactly, dude. So this is the joke too. So like, I have done that, and this is how I tried to get out of it. It was a very like sad attempt. I don't know if it worked or not because at that point it's so awkward that they don't want to admit that they know. Mm-hmm. But I said an entire text specifically shit talking somebody, and he said what? And then I was like, dude, I meant to put that in quotation marks because I just heard someone saying that about you.
Oh my God. You'd have to be the biggest moron on earth to buy that.
I know.
Was he the biggest moron on earth?
No one knows.
Did he continue being a friend of yours?
He was like, oh, all right, dude. And I think maybe this is the thing, though. If you're getting shit talked about something, you maybe feel self-conscious. Because maybe you suck.
That's true.
So maybe you're willing to... not admit that you know what's going on, and then you just strive to be better. Call it a wash.
You think you gave this guy the wake-up call he needed to stop sucking. That is a spin zone for the ages. You are really buttering your own nose with that one. That's good.
Oh, God.
That is nerve-wracking. Sending the text to the wrong person.
It's bad.
Oh, know what another one is that happens? is if you send a text in a group chat and you don't realize that someone you're talking about is in that group chat.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have multiple group chats that have a lot of overlap of people, right? So you flip back and forth between them. And especially with ones that don't have, especially with ones that have a name where somebody has named the group chat, like, Montauk Weekend, July or something. Right. And then people keep going with that. You forget who's in the group chat. And maybe you send something to the group chat where you're like, oh, man, did you see Gary's Instagram story? When is he going to stop doing blow? He's going to kill himself. Nobody's going to miss him. And then Gary's like, hey, man, look, I know I have a problem, but I'd appreciate if you didn't call me out in front of everyone.
Oh, you get the side text?
Yeah.
That's fine. Dude, all my group chats have like really stupid names, though. Like one of mine is called Horsecock.
What do you guys talk about in that one?
Nothing. It's
what
like,
brought everyone together there?
It's the kids I was on the tennis team with in college. It's just called Horsecock. And these guys, every single guy in the group has a kid too, except me.
I thought you were gonna say everyone in the group has a horse cock.
No, it's because our assistant coach had these huge hands, so we started calling him. I actually am proud of this. I started calling him Horsecock, and then on his shoulder, we noticed he actually had a tattoo of a horse. Some like months later.
Oh, that works.
And we're like, oh wow, how lovely.